Hey, what's going on? So, simple kind of video really, but I thought I'd record this because I like doing this bit and I like watching people do this bit as well. I'm just I've got the polystyrene head thing. You might have seen it on my socials, all the different versions of it. Um, I put all the cardboard on it and the clay and this pretend jaw thing from a model skull. What else did I do? I put the hole in the side of the head for whatever reason, more cardboard around the neck and all that kind of stuff. And then I painted it lots of different kind of colours, and I didn't really like how it looked. It was just grey. Like no matter what I kept applying to it, it just looked grey. And then I was taking photos of it from the socials, and I was playing around with the filters, and one of them made it look blue, sort of like this. I thought, oh, it kind of looks quite cool in blue. I like that. So that's what I've done. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's just paint it blue then. And now I'm going over it. I'm doing the thing that I like watching, which is just a dry brush. Just get a little bit of paint on your brush and then deliberately try and wipe it all off until it goes like tacky. And then it's like you're loading up the brush with nothing, if you know what I mean. And then you just go over the whole thing and you just bring out those little details where the dry brush is catching the edges of stuff, and it highlights all that nice detail. I like this now. I like it more than I did to begin with. I put it in the spare bedroom along with like other random things that never see the light of day. I put it in there thinking, oh, I'm not going to fucking go back to that stupid bust thing that I made. It's crap. Because just purely because I didn't like the colour, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm done with that. And then I was playing around with the filters, and I thought, yeah, turn it blue, make it into a blue thing. And I like it. It kind of looks like it's been found underneath the ocean, like someone's pulled it out of the sea. You know that, like we see a fence along the, like a metal rail or something along this, the coast on the seaside, and it's all rusty and it's covered in like old bird shit, and it's gone green and shit. But the metal has become oxygenated, or whatever I'm trying to think of. Whatever, you get what I fucking mean. It looks like someone pulled it out of the sea, basically. And I thought, oh yeah, that's cool, I like that. And I came up with the somewhat pretentious name for this bust. I never really, I never name things. Not really, I'm not that sort of artist. But he's got a good look of desperation on his face. And I thought, I'm just going to call this Desperation in Blue. And maybe he's desperate because some of his brain, or metaphorically a piece of him, is missing or something like that, and that's why he kind of looks sad and desperate. And then blue is usually associated with feeling blue and stuff like that. I thought, yeah, no, that's alright, that's not too pretentious. At least it makes sense or whatever. Don't know if you can hear the music in the background. It's just some sort of like knockoff Blade Runner music. And talking of Blade Runner, it just reminded me, I saw a post the other day for the TV series. I had no idea they were doing a Blade Runner TV series. It better not be shit. I fucking love Blade Runner. If you've never seen Blade Runner, go and watch it. Very, very good. And the second one is just as good, if not better in some ways. It's just that setting and the soundtrack, and at the beginning in the second film when he's flying over the city, and it's all covered in like smog, and it's really dark and everything's soaked in neon and fucking it's just so good. I mean, for someone who's a bit of a technophobe, and I'm always worried about how we move into the future and stuff with our gadgets and our technology, and I'm always slagging it off and stuff. I fucking love to live in a Blade Runner, cyberpunk, Akira, Ghost in the Shell kind of universe. It just looks so good stylistically, you know what I mean? It's just that scene in Ghost in the Shell where it's just that music playing, and you get like all the shots of the city. So good. The artwork in that film's fucking gorgeous. But not as good as Akira. Akira is just a fucking... it's just a piss take. I think anyone who's into animation and stuff, if you're thinking about getting into animation, making a big animated film, like all those animation studios out there, how do they not think when they begin a project, oh, should we watch Akira? And then they just watch Akira and think, yeah, actually, let's not bother making a fucking film. It ain't going to be as good as Akira. Because that film is a fucking piss take. It's so good. Again, if you've never seen that, go watch it. I'm always surprised about how many people have never seen that. And it's referenced so heavily as well in pop culture. That old, what do you call it? That sliding motorcycle shot. You kind of see replicated all the time in other things. The Ghost in the Shell film with Scarlett Johansson isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It got bad shtick, and it would have done because the anime fan base is pretty fucking hardcore about their world, you know. But it wasn't that fucking bad. It's not a good film, as in like the story and stuff. It's not, I think, really going to grip anyone. But you know, the look and the feel and all that. I think everything else in that film came second to how it looks. I think they did a very good job of replicating that world, that cyberpunk Blade Runner Ghost in the Shell world. Well, the style is called cyberpunk, isn't it? But yeah, it's not just a game that's called cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is that that look, that futuristic style thing. This is looking alright. It looks so much better now these fucking details are popped out and stuff. Because I wasn't going to do this dry brushing thing. It looks so much better when you do. I always think it is really easy to like go overboard with this and kind of like fuck it up. Make it look a bit shit. But so long as you don't go overboard, it's definitely worth doing. Because it just makes all the details jump out. You know what I mean? I love going over these bits. No, I don't know what these bits are. I mean, the cardboard. But it's just texture, you know? I just like that when you look at it, there's a lot to look at. And the eyes feel nice and deep as well. They look like they're going further than they do, especially when a shadow gets in there. Look at that. Awesome. And the inside of the mouth looks nice and far back as well. Nice. Yeah, let's do the jaw. Let's get the camera down a bit. Gotta be careful when I move this fucking camera, because the little grip thing seems to think that but when I got it in the grip, my Google Pixel phone keeps going on about Google squeeze for Google Assist or something. I think, no, I'm not squeezing my fucking phone, I'm just putting it in a grip. I'm glad I shared that with you guys out loud, because that was fucking interesting, wasn't it? Right, jaw, let's do the jaw. Jaw. Yeah, nice. Right, I had to stop for a second, but I'm back, and let's continue. What am I doing? Should I put that music back on in the background? I might as well. I don't know if you can hear it, you should be able to, but I was trying to think of any other any sci-fi films, seeing as that's mostly what I'm talking about. Any like really good obscure sci-fi films that people don't know about? Transformers: Age of Extinction. I'm not joking. What else? So I'm just looking at my DVDs. Right, YouTube. What's a fucking good obscure? Okay, well, this is in no way obscure, but just looking at my DVDs, I saw The Iron Giant. I didn't see that till recently, and if you've ever seen it and thought, oh, I'm not watching that, it's just some kids film, isn't it? Go watch The Iron Giant. I didn't even know it was done by fucking Steven Spielberg. So it's got his fingerprints all over it, you know. Shut up, adverts, no one fucking cares. Fucking Tui holidays. My auntie used to have a cat called Tui, not named after the fucking adverts, but it looked like a gangster rapper. It looked like Biggie Smalls. I don't know how, but it looked like Biggie Smalls. And it used to do all that like talking shit that cats do, you know, where it kind of sounds freaky because they sound like a baby. It used to do that all the fucking time. There we go, a bit of music. Yeah, Iron Giant is definitely one to watch. Yeah, I didn't even know that it was Spielberg or anything like that, and eventually I saw it because I just thought, well, I should do really, because being a bit of a film aficionado, it's one of those ones you've got to tick off the list. I'm glad that I did, because it's really, 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 really good. Now my paintbrush is all dirty because it's been in dirty water, so let's just wipe that off. Now it's too wet, it needs to be dry. Don't make that mistake of having a brush to... I was about to continue with a brush that was too wet and it would have looked wet, you know what I mean? I want dry. Make sure your brush is... If you're ever doing this, make sure the brush is as dry as you can get it. You're almost drying the brush out using the paint. And to be fair, I think I've said that in another video, but yeah. You get the general idea. Oh, why's my brush all fucking dirty and manky? Doesn't help that I'm trying to now dry it out on a piece of paper that's gone fucking wet. Let's get a dry bit of paper. Obscure sci-fi films. Let's have a look at my DVD collection whilst I'm sat here. Is Videodrome sci-fi? I'll tell you what's a bloody good film, and I always remember it getting a bad rep as well. Like, people seem to think it was shit. The Butterfly Effect. That's a fucking good film. If you ever want a good kind of fucked up psychological horror with I guess a sort of sci-fi twist to it, because it's, you know, it's definitely got that surreal edge to it given the story. It's got Ashton Kutcher in it as well, and I remember him being really good and thinking, well, why do you do all the other shit then? If you can act like that, why do you do all the other shit? A bit like Adam Sandler, really. He's very good at acting, but he sort of insists on doing some right old bollocks. Proper, like, you know, straight to DVD crap. Okay, we're good. Ah, no, you see? See that? Because the brush is still too damp. And so we ended up with a smudgy bit. Okay, let's dry it out even more. What other films? Did I say Videodrome just now? That's another good... I guess it's technically sci-fi in a sense, isn't it? If it's got some sort of technical thing, then that kind of just makes it sci-fi, doesn't it? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I'm fucking on about. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is still an amazing film. Everything is really good about that film, and if you're really into UFO alien stuff, you realise just how fucking accurate it is. It's like, you know, Spielberg again, and it's like he had access to things that he shouldn't have, if you know what I mean. Or he had access to people who really knew what they were on about. I mean, that French guy in the film is supposed to be Jacques Vallée. If you know who he is, he's like a big insider kind of guy in the world of UFOs and stuff. But yeah, that film is really spot on with the UFO history kind of stuff. But yeah, everything about that film is really good. up until you get to the fucking end. And again, I'm thinking, have I said this on camera before? But fucking whatever, I'll say it again. When you get to the end, that fucking mannequin puppet thing that comes, spoiler alert, but that mannequin puppet alien that comes out, and then those kids that are dressed as aliens. But it's the worst makeup I've ever seen, and it's not like it's an old film, so yeah, you know, it looks a bit shit or whatever. It's like, I mean, it looks fucking crap for back then. You know what I mean? That lanky alien who just looks exactly like a marionette string puppet, who sort of opens up the door and leans forward underneath it. It's like, oh, I mean, you could argue that, like, oh, you know, maybe an alien should look like that. You know, who's to say that an alien wouldn't look like a marionette puppet? It's like, yeah, but not like that much of a fucking puppet. You know what I mean? It's horrible. Oh god, the arms and the legs. It's like it might as well be this. It's like a fucking paper mache thing that, just fucking terrible. And then those kids with like the long rubber fingers and those masks with like big cartoony looking human eyes and stuff, and it doesn't let the film down. I mean, that whole scene is fucking amazing, but you know, the whole UFO singing, talking thing, with the music and all that shit. And then the spaceship comes down and spins around and all that kind of stuff. If you pause at the right bit, you can see on that giant mothership that there's a tiny little R2-D2 glued to it as part of all the like mad looking detailing. There's a little R2-D2 glued upside down to the side of the ship. There you go, a little bit of nerdy info for you, but I love all that kind of shit. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing, can you? Let's go around the neck. There we go. Yeah. So, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, still really good. Again, I'm just looking at DVDs. Oh, I don't know what else. There's 100 fucking 1,000 films out there, and take your pick. God, I love doing this. I just love watching those little details pop out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lay this on its side. Okay. It's almost like a tree bark or something. And the more you keep going with a brush that's getting really dry now, but it's still sort of loaded, the more those really small details start to come out as well. Just really light surface stuff. Get in there. There we go. And let's do the other bit. It's amazing the fucking positions you have to get into when you're trying to record yourself doing things. Oh yeah, look at that nice zigzaggy bit. Oh, talking of sci-fi, I've just reinstalled Starfield, which for me was a fucking hell of a flop. I just thought it was so fucking boring. Like, once you've done that story, I mean, I could rattle on and on and on about it. I'm not going to, but in a nutshell, like if you play Fallout 4 or even Skyrim, like the amount of effort that went into Fallout 4 compared to what went into Starfield, it's just like, it's so obvious that they just couldn't be asked. And it doesn't matter that they turn around and say, oh yeah, this game's been 30 years in the making technically, because we had the idea 30 years ago. It's like, no, it's it's fucking, oh god, it's so shoddy in just that level of effort just isn't there when you think how big and immersive and fucking rammed full of content Fallout 4 is. That map on Fallout 4, I mean, it's fucking huge, both on the surface and underground as well, all the tunnels and the networks and stuff. In Starfield, you go to a planet, you walk around, it's barren, and you walk into the same locations. You fly, you go somewhere on a planet, you're on Mars or whatever, and you go, oh look, an abandoned robot factory, and then you travel literally like fucking to the other end of the galaxy. You land on some other random planet, and again you'll see the same factory again. And then when you go in it, the bad guys are in the same places. And then the doors that needed unlocking and stuff, those are all locked again, because the whole entire factory has respawned itself but on a different planet. And it's like, what was the fucking point exploring? You know what I mean? It's just like, once you've been on one planet, you've been on all of them. And it's like, that's not an open world game, you know what I mean? Like, where's the fucking map? Like Skyrim and Fallout, where's the map? Where's the where's the effort? Where's the game? You know? But yeah, I reinstalled it because there was an update. And there's like survival difficulty mode and stuff like that now, so I'll take a little look at it. And it might make the gameplay a little bit more fun, but it's not going to stop it from being a boring game, unfortunately. I mean, those dead-eyed fucking NPCs and all that sort of shit, the way they stare at you and they still walk around like it's made on the same technology as that Skyrim was, or Fallout 3, you know? Those were good back in the day, but they're not good now. I mean, they are still good games, but on a technical level, when compared to things like what's that zombie one called? Dying Light 2 and Cyberpunk. When you compare it to those, you know, it's so fucking dated. Those mannequin NPCs that aren't really doing anything, and stilted dialogue. And I said I weren't going to rant about Starfield, but God, I easily can, because it's such a load of shit. But hopefully they'll add stuff, and they've got maps now. Oh, the game's actually got maps. Why didn't I have maps when they fucking launched? Anyway, whatever. I'll stop knocking the camera. There we go. And zoom in as well. I mean, not zoom in, focus. There we go. It looks nice, that, doesn't it? It looks like the side of a cliff edge. Come into focus. Don't keep going out of focus. There we go. Let's move it over there. Right. If you've watched this far without skipping or getting bored or whatever, then you're obviously enjoying this. So, if you've got any questions or anything for a future video, drop them below, or go on to Facebook and Instagram, blah blah blah. It's 2024, you know how it works. Just go on to my socials or drop a comment below with a question, and I'll try and answer it if I can. Gives me something to talk about. I mean, I don't know why I feel obliged to fucking talk anyway, you know what I mean? Like, this whole video has been me trying to just sort of mirandering, thinking of things to say, stuff to talk about. I mean, I could just leave the music on in the background and shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? But then it feels I don't know, I feel like I'm somehow giving people less. So then I feel obliged to kind of rabbit on about any old shit. And sometimes it can be really difficult. And it's a lot easier when someone gives me a question, because then I think, well, at least this person wanted an answer, you know what I mean? At least I'm talking for a reason. Because if I'm just rambling on like I am now, why should anyone really actually listen to anything I've got to say, you know what I mean? I'm not a fucking radio DJ, I'm just sat here doing this, you know? But it's a lot easier to, it just feels a lot more organic, is the kind of word that I'm looking for. And someone's giving you a question, and then you can just kind of like ramble on about whatever, see where that question takes you, rather than trying to, I mean, I could just shut the fuck up, couldn't I? Let's do that. Let's be quiet for 5 minutes. I probably won't. I'll probably start fucking talking again. But let's just, you know what? At least I'm real. At least I'm fucking real. You know what I mean? Like, what you see is what you get. At least I'm not shouting in your fucking face to tell you that you should smash that like button and all the fucking rest of it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I don't really care if you do or you don't. I mean, if you like this, do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not fucking here to, you know, I'm doing it my way. I'm just doing it the only way I can fucking do it. That kind of looks like the Earth, doesn't it? It looks like, you know, when you see planet Earth from space, and these are all like storm clouds or something. And this bit here is maybe Africa, because of the shape. See what I mean? This could be, I'm going to show myself up now because I'm shit at geography. That's Africa. And then this little bit here, no, this bit here, I'm going to move the brush away. That bit is England. And then all that would be Europe and shit. And America's sunken into the sea, apparently. Look. But yeah, I was looking at a globe a little while back. I was really surprised of how fucking close Africa is to Europe and stuff. And my geography's shit. It's always been fucking shit. I haven't got a clue where anything is. I used to think that the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas map was literally like completely accurate. Like, that's how far apart things were. You know, that's how big America is or whatever, you know? LA and Las Vegas and all that. I used to think it was actually like the San Andreas map. And I'm ashamed to say I thought that for fucking years. You know, I was young, but fucking hell, you know. Pretty stupid. Yeah, so I was looking at... yeah, I just thought it was weird that Africa was that close. I was like, really? Isn't Africa like right round the other fucking side? I swear it is. And I'm not talking about some like Mandella Effect shit. But yeah, it just felt like, really? What, it's always been there? Like literally pressing itself into what I think is like, you know, Italy, France and Germany and all the rest of it. I just thought, since when? But, you know, there you go. There is one Mandela Effect thing that I totally agree with, but it's also completely... I'll tell you what it is, and then, you know, why people think that this is a, you know, a real thing, including me. It was just in the film Moonraker. The big bad guy is like 7 foot with metal teeth called Jaws. He sees a girl that he falls in love with at like first sight, and I think they're kind of like running towards each other or whatever, and that, you know, they're in love, and then they smile at each other, and he smiles, revealing his metal teeth, and then she smiles, and she's got like her hair is up in pigtails, she's got glasses. And I really remember like the visual gag being that he smiles and he's got metal teeth, and then she smiles and she's got braces. And so the joke is like they've both got a mouthful of metal, you know what I mean? And they're in love, so like they're similar, ha ha ha, isn't that funny? But like it turns out that never happened. I mean, you can even buy Mandella Effect fucking t-shirts that say Dolly had braces. That was her name in the film, Dolly. But yeah, and I remember seeing that one. I was laughing at all the stupid examples of fucking Mandela Effect. Oh, do you remember the Kellogg's logo having an apostrophe or whatever? And all that sort of shit. And then that one came up about the fucking braces. And I was like, yeah, hang on, fuck off. Didn't she have braces? She totally had braces. That was the thing. Like, he smiles, he's got a mouthful of metal. She smiles, she's got a mouthful of metal. Like, what? Yeah, that was the thing. That is what fucking happened. Like, that's the joke. That's the whole point of that bit. And I think the reason why everybody seems to remember it being that way, even though it wasn't, is that I just think everybody thought the same thing, and they all thought, oh, wouldn't it have been much better if he smiled, showed his metal teeth, and then she did the same, and then that would have been funny. And I just think it was such like an obvious joke that it seemed, you know, like a really obvious missed opportunity for a visual gag. And I think everyone thought that when they saw that scene, and so it just kind of went into everyone's heads as if that is what happened, because everyone had that thought. So yeah, I think that's easily explainable, really, isn't it? There are some other good examples, but I can't remember what they are now. It's funny how it's always just fucking like, you know, oh, do you remember the logo looking like this? Or what does the C look like on the Cadbury's logo? Or whatever. And it's just, you know, all these things are supposed to be a sign that we've ripped a hole in time and space or whatever, and now we're living in an alternative universe. And the only thing that seems to be fucking affected is company logos. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, right, okay, yeah. Yeah, alright then. I mean, I love a fucking good conspiracy sort of mad shit, but not that one, because it's mostly fucking bollocks. Right, okay. I'm more or less done with the head. The rest of the body is just, you know, it's just this. And this video is probably already a fucking hour long or whatever. But there you go. I'm going to go over it, you know, do all the bottom bit. And that looks much better. It looks like it's been pulled out of the sea. I really like the way it looks. The eyes are nice and deep, like I said. Although, to be fair, you could do with some more highlights in there. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, that's better. It looks shit on camera. It looks like I shouldn't have done that, but it looks fine in real life. Yeah. That's what I was saying about don't go overboard with it. It's hard not to. Yeah, no, that's fine though, it's cool. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Looks better than it did. And so there you are. That's 40 minutes worth of me rambling on about whatever. If you've got questions and shit, drop them below. If you don't. If you do, do. Right. Cheers, guys. Bye.